Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloe here in Abuja. So much to talk about tonight, and our attention will be largely on the election in Edo State, especially the governorship election that has gotten a lot of tension, and the politicians are now at each other's throat because of the issues surrounding the politicking and the campaign issue, and of course the preparations, the logistics issue, which is getting some politicians really on a high octave of their energy. So tonight we'll be getting some response from the APC, because last night we had one of the chieftains of the PDP who spoke and made heavy allegations about the process and the involvement of the APC. We'll be getting to hear from the APC tonight. Before we get into all of that, I'm going to show you some details of what happened today, the drama which ensued when the PDP chairman walked up to the podium and he wasn't able to speak because they said they'd been expecting him. The PDP candidate did not sign the peace accord. Other political parties, APC, Labour Party, Accord, and several others, they signed the peace accord, but the PDP did not. But on the outside of the venue, there was some protesters who stormed the venue of the peace accord signing. All of these we're going to be telling you tonight. Of course, you will also hear from the Labour Party candidate, Olumide Akpata, right here on the program tonight. He was in Abia State. How is it connected to the election of next week, Saturday? Before we get into the nitty-gritty of things tonight, let me serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
President Bola Tinubu has met with King Charles III at Buckingham Palace in London, the United Kingdom. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Nanuga described the meeting as private, highlighting the enduring and cherished relationship between Nigeria and the United Kingdom. President Tinubu reiterated Nigeria's firm commitment to addressing climate change in a manner that aligns with the country's energy security objectives, whilst affirming Nigeria's readiness to adopt global strategies for sustainability. Ahead of the Edo and Ondo State governorship elections, leaders of our core party have commenced a re-strategizing exercise to reposition the party. The leaders, led by the national chairman of the party, Mr. Chris Imomolen, are meeting with stakeholders of the party from the Southwest Zone to brainstorm on steps to be taken towards recording success in the polls. The national chairman of the party, Mr. Chris Imomolen, says the objective of the meeting is to chart a way forward towards achieving success and ensuring a core party becomes the choice of Nigerians. The All Progressive Congress in Edo State is demanding that the mastermind of the killing of an inspector attached to its governorship candidate, who was shot dead on July 18, as well as those who have allegedly perpetrated violence against officials of the party, be arrested for it to consider signing the peace accord. The Edo State chairman of the APC, Jared Tenebe, at a press briefing in Benin City, the Edo State capital, faulted comments made by the state governor, Godwin Obaseki. Meanwhile, the Forum of All Progressives Congress state chairman has commended the national chairman of the party, Mr. Abdullahi Ganduje, and the National Working Committee, NWC, with regards to the extension granted to the caretaker committee of Rivers State chapter of the party, led by Mr. Tony Okocha. Addressing a news conference in Abuja at the party's national secretariat, the chairman of the forum, Mr. Cornelius Ojelabi, appreciated and stated their solidarity for Mr. Nyesom Wike's distinctive and excellent delivery as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Lastly, from Kano State, the chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Offences Commission, Mr. Musa Aliyu, has appeared before a high court in Kano to defend the commission's decision to investigate suspects involved in the diversion of local government funds. The commission invited the suspect for questioning, despite an order from the court stopping ICPC, EFCC, Kano Anti-Graft Agency, and the Nigerian police from arresting and investigating the alleged diversion of local government funds. However, the counsel to the applicant is instituting that the ICPC disobeyed the court order by proceeding with the investigation.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. So let's get to it. I will take you to Benin City. It does look to me that that is where the action is as far as the politics of Nigeria is concerned today. Where do we begin from, everyone? So today was a day for the peace accord signing. Don't forget, yesterday, former head of state, Abdulsalami Abubakar, who is the chair of the National Peace Committee visited Governor Godwin Obaseki, and at that meeting, Governor Obaseki said it's not likely that the PDP will sign the peace accord because of several reasons, and he gave the reasons why he thought that the PDP might not be involved in the peace signing. Fast forward to today, everyone. This morning, INEC, security agencies, the members of the National Peace Committee, they converged on the venue of the event, including the very popular Bishop Matthew Kuka, the IG, the General Abdul Salami, the INEC chair. All of them gathered there, politicians, political leaders, governorship candidates, all of them converged. But the peace accord signing went on with Labour Party, APC, Accord Party, all of them signing a peace accord. Let me allow you to listen to some of the sound bites from the peace accord signing ceremony. General Abdul Salami, the IG, and the chairman, all of them spoke, and they really said what is needed to be able to achieve a peaceful, free, fair election in Edo State next week. Take a listen to them.
So we stand on the gateway of yet another critical election in Edo State. We urge all political actors and stakeholders to commit themselves to the cause of peace in Edo State. The signing of this peace accord signifies your readiness to place the interests of the people which you want to serve above individual or party ambitions. It is a commitment to conduct campaigns free of hate speech, incitement, and violence, and to accept the outcome of the votes as long as it is adjudged to be free, fair, and credible.
We recognize the importance of this movement and the trust placed on us to protect the integrity of this election. We will remain impartial, professional, and vigilant while providing a level playing ground for all the political parties and their candidates. I urge all stakeholders to embrace peace, tolerance, and respect for the democratic process.
I appeal to political parties and candidates to note that it is not your signatures on the peace document that will guarantee peaceful elections. It is your commitment to its implementation that is critical. Therefore, as you sign the peace accord, commit yourselves to the implementation of the terms of the accord and pass the message to your supporters at all levels for compliance.
All right, you heard some of the major speakers at that event and those who directly or indirectly are involved in this process, from the INEC chairman to the Inspector General of Police and to General Abdul Salami Abubakar. So many more people spoke, but after the speeches came the moment for the peace accord signing. So what is the peace accord signing? It's simple, that all the political parties have agreed that they will be peaceful in the process of the election. Simple. That is the commitment. But the PDP had hinted that they may not be part of that process. And so what we saw is perhaps what I would like you to listen to. And without my commentaries on the net, I'd like my producers to play exactly what transpired when Anthony Azegbemi walked up to the podium. Anthony Azegbemi is a People's Democratic Party chairman in Edo State, and he walked up to the podium, and there was a conversation, some of which was not cut on the microphone, but the bottom line was the fact that the chairman of the Peace Committee had said they've been looking for the PDP and they've made an announcement. The Master of Ceremonies also said they've made some announcement which led to the little drama which ensued. Take a listen for yourself.
I believe the world, anyone in the world will agree with us as the National Peace Committee that effort has been made to sue for peace. So, Idolites, we present to you officially on the podium.
All right, there was it. What really happened, and you see Azegbemi unhappy with what is happening, and he took a walk out of the venue. Meanwhile, he had a few things to say about what really transpired. Take a listen to him.
Mr. Kingsley, also, this is the wife. You're the wife of...
Wife of Mr. No Ematsu.
No,
I'm
no,
the mother of Kingsley, also.
This is the wife of the Honorable Chairman Nissan West, the Honorable Collins Agbogu, that was whisked away 4 days ago, 4 a.m. in the night, by the police. Gentlemen of the press, if it were you as a political party, will you, in good conscience, sign that peace accord? That would be very dishonest.
All right. Those are some of the grievances of the People's Democratic Party, and perhaps the reason why they said they will not participate. They said that some of their members are being arrested in Edo State, taken to Abuja. We understand that some of them have now been detained in a prison in Niger State, in Suleja. These are some of the scenarios and the allegations that the PDP had portrayed that is causing the grievance. You heard what the IG said. IG had said, look, the Edo Security Network, that's the local vigilante and the security network in the state, will not be allowed to operate during the election. These are some of the things that the PDP said they are not happy about. And when Don Pedro Obaseki spoke on the program yesterday, he was very, very vivid in his explanation of some of these issues. But the drama was not only on the inside. Earlier today, he was also outside. We saw some women who took to the venue. Allow you to also listen to some of what they were chanting. All right, those are the women who are somewhat protesting against some of what they thought that the things that are not right in the process. So let's get to hear from the APC tonight, because they were on the receiving end yesterday, and now a right of reply for them tonight. I'm being joined by Mwanta Adeze, who is a member of the All Progressives Congress, a member of the APC campaign organization, and a lawyer. He joins us right here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Mwanta Adeze, for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Adaze Elanta.
Adaze. Sounds like an Igbo name, Adeze.
Adaze.
What does it mean?
A gentleman.
Oh, really? Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Adaze. You watched the program yesterday, and the grievance of the PDP was very much established yesterday by your very good brother, Don Pedro Obaseki. And the import of it is that your party is up to untoward activity and intentions towards that election.
You know, nothing can be further from the truth. Remember, I was the spokesperson to Obaseki until recently. I served in 3 ministries as his commissioner. I was his commissioner for information. In 2020, Obaseki had the goodwill of the federal government under Buhari. Remember, it was on your program, Adams Oshomole was removed as national chairman in the evening. He activated that. He knew that was the only way he could win that election. He was at the peace signing of the peace accord in 2020. What has changed? He wants to control the structure. In 2016, it was Oshomole that made him governor with his goodwill. He didn't complain about Commissioner of Police. In 2020, he cried to Buhari. I mean, because of the internal wranglings in the APC, they removed Ndanzo Shomole. He enjoyed full support of the federal government. This is the very first election he's supporting a candidate where he's not getting support. Remember, the first election he had as a general election as governor in recent times after he left to Shomole was the election of last year. What was the performance of PDP? They had 3 senators, they lost. In the election that took place on the 25th of February last year, PDP did not win a single ward in the entire Edo South. That is the fear Obaseki is having. Why is he interested in who is Commissioner of Police? This man has an army. He calls them Edo Vigilante. These are people who commit crimes against Edo people. But they are non-state actors.
You don't have evidence to...
I'm not talking I'm talking of an incident that took place at the airport. The day Philip Shaibu came
and you can
from
link them
Abuja to Benin.
Of
course, that is why the governor is screaming blue murder. The ugly of the APC candidate was shot and killed. The governor did not show any sign of remorse. They were celebrating in government house, only for the governor to come and say, if any of the people who killed that man are arrested, Nigeria will burn. The video was viral. I don't know if channels, but other TV stations used the video.
But the issue was that the police said they arrested some people in relation to it, and we heard Azoi Godalo and Obaseki saying, let us see those who are arrested. Let us know the import on the outcome of what really happened. As the police
for me, I think what is important is the persons that have been declared wanted. About 15 of them are being housed in government house. I know their names. If you want me to mention their names, I'll mention their names. They even moved with Obaseki on the campaign ground. He keeps them under his immunity as governor. Some of them will go on national TV, like there's one, Olaye. That man comes into political party meetings with a pump action. I've challenged him once in one of our meetings.
Have you seen it before? You've seen the pump action in his
I'm telling you, I'm a manta. I don't know how to lie. My name is Truth. He has come for a meeting with a pump action. I complained to the chief of staff. They said, no, that's his style. That same man was one of those involved in that murder. He said the other day, my local government...
What's the allegation that of criminal...
I'm telling you
when you are alleging that someone committed murder...
He's hiding under the cover of the government.
But do you have evidence? You can't
I just told you that he moves around with a pump action.
No, but did you see him kill the person?
There's an allegation.
I wouldn't allow you to murder someone's character on television because you're a lawyer. You know that when you say someone killed... Just a moment.
I said he was involved in that allegation of murder. I didn't say he shot at him, but these are the persons who are suspects. The law presumes him innocent, but why is Obaseki preventing the police from doing their work? That is our grouse. The police officer that was killed has a family. Why are they trying to frustrate the police? So the commissioner of police in the state, Obaseki wants him to do his bidding. These individuals that, I give you the present instance now. The local government chairman in East and West, we had APC people in the campaign ground. You went there with your boys. They almost killed one of them. Then what did he do? He bandaged his hand. He was arrested. They realized that he had no injury. And he actually has admitted he was arraigned today. As I speak to you, he was arraigned today. So the law must take its course. The only person that has immunity is Obaseki. Okay, look at the way he has been treating his deputy governor. A man that is not crying wolf was a man that ejected his deputy governor from government house. He has an impostor who parades himself as deputy governor. So I think the Nigerian state must protect the electoral process. If they are saying that, oh, because they didn't sign the peace accord, and they are saying that the elections must hold. When the governor had local government elections, did the heavens fall? We know what happened during the local, that's the most recent election. So they should allow INEC to do their work. They should allow the police to do their work. Whoever has committed a criminal offense must face the law.
So you have painted a picture as though the system has always favored Obaseki.
Exactly. So but this time around, it's not favoring him and it's screaming blue murder.
So it's favoring the APC now?
Not favoring him. Due process is being followed and Obaseki is screaming blue murder. I ask you,
due process,
is it not the duty of the police to provide security? Is it the duty of non-state actors like the people Obaseki calls his vigilante, who move with arms that are not allowed? They move with pump action?
But, I mean, so the question I'm asking, for example, Blessing Agbomere wearing a spy police uniform, is that the kind of favor that your party is enjoying?
I totally condemn that in the strongest of terms, because for me, wearing a uniform is a sign of authority. I know what the spy police is about. Their duty is to assist the police. But for me, he abused that privilege. And whatever it is that the police are saying that they will do, I think the law must take its course. It does not matter who is involved. Because when we talk of the rule of law, we are talking of equality before the law. If an APC person commits an offense, he should face the law.
But these are
if
some of the these are some of the handwriting they say they've seen on the wall, indicating that your party is being favored into going towards this election.
But you heard what the police said, that he has been arrested.
So now, how do you defend or how do you convince Nigeria that that is not just a snippet of what to come? That your party, because they say that your party is in connivance with the police force.
With profound respect, they've been celebrating the arrest of Agbomere, right? So in one breath, they celebrate his arrest. In another breath, they are saying some persons should not be arrested. And these persons move freely inside government house. Whenever the governor, there was a time they were to arrest Olaye on a campaign ground. The governor's chief security officer resisted that arrest. So for me, I think the governor must understand he's not on the ballot. People have been complaining that he operates as a godfather. He has proven that he's the godfather of Aswa Godalo, because when the former head of state, Abdul Salim Abubakar, visited him, he was speaking as if he's a candidate that they will not sign. It is not the duty of the governor to sign that peace accord. It's the duty of his party and the candidate of the PDP, which in this case is Aswa Godalo.
Are you worried about that the PDP candidate did not sign?
I think it was the instruction Obaseki gave him, his godfather gave him, and Obaseki gave us a hint. And they are even saying they will boycott next week's election. People boycotted the local government elections, did the heavens fall. That election was rigged by PDP back to back. This election is one of the freest and fairest we've seen so far. You find a situation where we have a candidate of the PDP, INEC was supposed to disqualify him. This is a man that does not have a voter's card. The INEC was very magnanimous to him. We know what happened in court. But I don't want to go into that.
But the court has said he's fit and proper.
There's a criminal case which is still running from at the Wuse Magistrate Court. There's a criminal case against him.
Against the candidate of the PDP.
Against
but as it stands right now, he's confirmed in the eye of the law as a fit and proper person to run in the race.
The process is on, right? There was a decision of the Court of Appeal dismissing his appeal. So the matters are before the Supreme Court.
Let me take you up on another matter. As a lawyer, how do you defend what has happened about some of the PDP members that have been arrested and now been taken to Abuja? Some of them are sleeping in some prison in Suleja.
The Suleja one is what I'm hearing from you for the first time. But I can tell you that Agbogun, I read this charge. He was arraigned today. And, you know, the procedure is such that he was arraigned before, I think, one of the magistrate courts in Dutse or Kubo. I'm not too sure. Yeah. But I know he was arraigned.
But legally speaking, procedurally, is that right?
Of course, that's the right thing to do.
To arrest someone in Edo State, in Benin City, and arraign them in
No, it depends on the circumstances of the offense. And if, as we have always known it, they arrest them in Benin, the governor tries to use, because the governor was trying to assert his influence. The petition was written
what is the standard?
With profound respect.
What is standard and what is normal?
Can you allow me to
within the jurisdiction of an offense, where is a suspect supposed to be arraigned?
The truth is, there are certain offenses that the IGP, if a petition is written to the IGP, the office of the IGP can prosecute such offenses. Particularly when you know that the Commissioner of Police is under the operational command of the IGP.
I'm not talking about the capacity of the IGP. I'm talking about the issue of law and procedure. Jurisdictionally, where is any suspect supposed to be arraigned?
The thing is, you have a conglomeration of offenses they said he has committed. I have not, as I told you, I have not studied the charge. If you have an offense like advance fee fraud, right? It is where you, for instance, operate that device, or where the person who is the victim, because you also have allegations that he's into fraud. It was one of those allegations they used against him during the elections, that this boy is what they call Yahoo boy. But and unfortunately, the governor brought him in as a candidate in that election.
As a very, very experienced lawyer, I imagine that even the law is very specific into the distance of the place of offense and the nearest court that is supposed to prosecute, or where such a matter can be taken to.
And I can tell you this for free. If that petition was written to the IG and the arrests may have been made in Edo, and for reasons best known to the investigators, he was taken to... Have you not seen cases where they prosecuted offenses of corruption in Abuja in the FCT? We've had many of those cases. Most of these offenses were not committed in the FCT. But it is where the investigation is done, because of this issue of you must quickly arraign him. What the law says, you must take him to a police station, or rather, you must take him from the detention center to a court within a particular distance. And once that can be established, why not?
So you don't see anything wrong in prosecuting people or charging people to court outside of jurisdiction as established by law?
There's no law that says once a person is arrested and brought to Abuja, he cannot be arraigned and prosecuted in Abuja. It is a court that would now say, I don't have jurisdiction.
So if the law does not say, what about what the law says? That you should be prosecuted?
But I don't want us to preempt what the judge will say.
No, I am asking a specific question.
I've taught law. I've taught law for 12 years.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
13 years, and I'm saying that once somebody is arrested, it is a detention center. The law says within a particular radius, you must take the person to a court within a particular radius. You know what the law says now? Under Section 35 of this issue of right to personal liberty. Within a radius from the place he was detained, not from where the offense was committed.
All right, let me go away from that, because these are some of the issues that the PDP has. And they're saying that going into this election, it does look like the field is not playing enough for them to, it's not fair enough for them to play. And if a lot of their members have been picked up few days before the election, it doesn't look like the police is fair, and that the police is working with the APC, and that the federal might is being boasted to be used in this election. But why would your members and your friends in the APC be boasting that you are going to use the federal might against in this election?
I'm just hearing from you that I don't know who said it.
Can you watched the program yesterday, didn't you watch?
Who said it?
You heard from Don Pedro.
No, you don't rely on Don Pedro. Don Pedro, as the brother to the governor, you don't expect him to come and say something opposite. He was paid to come here to say the things he said. And I can tell you for free that Don Pedro as a person in 2016 supported Israel against his own brother.
The same way they will say that you have a personal grounds to grant with the governor, Governor Obaseki.
It's because he operates as a dictator. Look at the way he treated tribal. I'm a human being. I know what we did for him. I know how we made him governor. Look at everybody.
You made him governor?
We know the role we played in making him governor. If he was not a candidate of the party, the PDP, would he have become governor? You know the role Wike played. You know the role Danodi played. You know the role Shaibu played. You stood by him. But this man has the spirit of always betraying people in his veins. It runs like blood. There's nobody who helped Obaseki in this life he has not betrayed. Can you tell me one person?
He has a wife.
It's a serious betrayal.
He has people, business
wives. You say his wife, birds of a feather flock together. I served as commissioner for gender.
Don't act the personality.
No, you mentioned that.
No, when you say that there are people in his life that has helped him, that has betrayed, and I'm just trying to ask you whether or not hacking down his
No, it was the door you opened that entered, you know.
Well, so the question is that, is it a good reason for your party members to boast that you're going to use federal might? Is it enough for you?
No, it's what Don Pedro said, and Don Pedro came to lie. I just said he's known for that. He has never been consistent. He says he's a lawyer, but I've asked myself, when was he called to the bar? He comes to say all kinds of things about people, which are not true. He said many things about Governor Wike, that the commissioner is his... I mean, the guy says all kinds of things, so you don't take him seriously.
So everything that Don Pedro said yesterday, you don't think that they are valid?
The only thing he said is that he's Obaseki. That's the only thing that he came that was true. He said that was true. And yes, he's a brother to the governor.
And the fact remains that...
A cousin to the governor.
So he had said that the INEC, they don't believe that there's going to get fairness. With the police, commissioner of police, they don't think that they will get fairness. But is it fair, actually, for the authorities to take these persons temporarily out of station to have neutral people to conduct the election?
The people that were there before, they complained about them, right? But they didn't complain about the commissioner of police, because the Inspector Akor, who is attached, who, of course, at the time of his death, was attached to the APC candidate, the commissioner of police was in the airport. What did the former commissioner of police do? He used the entry gates against protocol, because he knew that you had people out there, vigilante people out there, who eventually shot at the convoy of the APC candidate, and unfortunately, his orderly was killed. And as we speak, nothing has been done to question that commissioner, because Obaseki had placed this man, I don't know, whatever allowance he was getting, but that was Obaseki's man Friday. When the governor banned youths loyal to the Oba, known as Ohiagele, this commissioner of police made a specific statement that these people were cultists and all manners of things were said by the commissioner. He was partisan at that time. Obaseki did not find any issue with that. But because he said he was calling the commissioner of police and the man was not doing his bidding, then why scream blue mother? When it favors Obaseki, you don't hear him talk. But when it's not favoring him, he starts screaming. But this same man said Nigeria will burn.
The PDP,
and nobody held him to account for that statement.
The PDP believes that if there is a level playing field, they will beat your party blue-black. But that it looks like your party has had a rigging formula going into this election. How do you convince Nigerians that that's actually not the position?
The truth is, they said they'll beat APC blue-black. What was the performance of PDP in the last general elections? I just told you, in Edo State House, 7 local governments, right? In those 7 local governments, they didn't win a single ward. They were giving the beating of their lives. Why do we call Akpakomiza, the senator representing Edo Central, who is a candidate of the APC, Akpakomiza? He's a performer. Since 1999, PDP has never lost the senatorial seat. Last year, he was the first person to defeat a sitting senator. He defeated him in all the wards, in almost all the units, to the extent that the PDP candidates, senator, all they are considered, they didn't go to the tribunal. So for me, APC is just waiting in the wings to have a situation which I'll call a windslide victory. And why are they complaining? Why are they saying they want to boycott? They should not boycott this election, because we're going to give them a beating of their lives in the polls. Across the 192 wards, I know my party will have a clean sweep. But and I'll tell you why.
Because we have people PDP is a sitting party in Edo State. How is it for you
Was Jonathan not defeated in 2015? He was defeated and he conceded. And I expect Aswa Godalo to prepare his concession speech. It's not for them to be complaining. They should just wait for this election and see how Edo people will vote.
Mwanta is a lawyer and a chieftain of the, he was a chieftain of the PDP, but now he's in the APC, and he works also deeply in the APC campaign organization. It's a pleasure having you tonight on the program.
Always a pleasure to be here. Sure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone. Our attention is on Edo governorship election. What does this mean? The peace accord, and if one political party says we're not signing, and they listed some of their grievances, but beyond all of the narratives and the the back and forth, the implication of some of this body language and the messaging that we get, and it means a lot, isn't it? Let's get talking about this. Let's look at what the law says, what the politicians are doing, what has been a tradition over the past years that's been conducted by the National Peace Committee led by General Abdulsalami Abubakar and the convener Bishop Matthew Kuka. I'm being joined on the program by the Executive Director of Yaga Africa, a lawyer and electoral and democratic governance expert, Mr. Samson Itodo, who joins us from Kampala in Uganda. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Very much, Cheryl, and good evening, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much indeed. Give us an understanding. Perhaps a lot of people who do not know what this peace accord means in our electoral process. We've made it to be, and it has helped, isn't it, that we've seen over the years, the National Peace Committee, they've been able to midwife a process of security and engagement that had led to peaceful conduct of election in Nigeria. We saw what happened sometimes in 2011 after the election in Bauchi and in some part of the country where people were killed in the post-election era. But give us an understanding. This peace accord, what does this mean in our elections?
Oh, thank you very much, Cheryl. The peace accord is a document, a commitment that political actors, political stakeholders make to express and make commitments to uphold the certain tenets and principles of democratic elections. It is an accord, an agreement that politicians and candidates go into to demonstrate that they are committed to credible elections, that they will not make incendiary statements that heat up the polity, such as hate speech, and that when they have grievances with the outcome of an election, they will defer to legal and civil means of election dispute resolution. So it's a commitment that political parties and candidates make. Whilst there is no legal implication or no legal backing, for the peace accord, but it has a moral and a persuasive power and force that compels political parties and candidates, to subscribe to non-violent means of election engagement or electoral politics. And that's what the peace accord is. It's that agreement that came on the background of the highly, violent nature of our.
Now, something. Let me ask you. Let's get it straight. This peace accord is a moral obligation, not a legal obligation, and as such, it is not binding, is it? All right. I'm very sure that Samson will reconnect with us as soon as he's unfrozen by the network glitch that we're seeing there. Of course, today we saw what happened. Samson, if you're back with us, please do a nod. Oh, great. I see that you're back with us now. So my question is, the peace accord is a moral obligation and not a legal one. So no one is legally bound by whatever is signed. Is that right?
You're right. It's not a legal document, but it has some moral persuasive force, because when politicians make commitments that they will uphold the principles of transparency, accountability, and peaceful elections, they make a commitment. And when they fail in that commitment, what it tells us is there are individuals and parties that should not be trusted with votes. They should not be trusted with power. Because when they sign those peace accords, they are making a pledge. They are making a commitment. Unfortunately, we have situations where politicians sign the peace accord and they still express all forms of deviant behavior on the day of elections, which is totally unacceptable. And this is why we continually urge stakeholders, especially voters, to punish political parties who instrumentalize violence to undermine the outcome of elections, or political parties who field candidates that make all sorts of incendiary statements that hits up the polity, that delegitimizes the process. These are some of the issues. You see what happened today? This is the first time in the history of the peace accord where a political party will openly reject, decline signing the peace accord. And I thought that it was a missed opportunity, even though, yes, the PDP has made a strong symbolic statement, but I wish that they had signed it, because the peace accord isn't just about non-violence or security agencies. It's also about other commitment and the symbolism. We missed the opportunity today to see candidates of the main political parties at that event shaking hands with each other and hugging each other like we saw 4 years ago. Because those images, though you might think that they don't mean anything, but the supporters out there who see these candidates, embrace each other, smile at each other, and shake hands, actually sends a strong message to the supporters. But what's happened today, has further and will further, escalate the tension in the build-up to this election. And I just want to urge that, yes, these petitions that have been released by the parties, and they made several demands, we cannot wish them away. But I will urge that all those who were not in the peace accord signing ceremony today should, post this event, sign this peace accord. They have made their statement, and those issues and demands that they made are things that I think the peace accord will need to engage with both the Inspector General of Police, INEC, and other stakeholders to see how they resolve these issues, so that this crisis of confidence that seems to have become, the order of the day in the build-up to this election, will be addressed. And we need to de-escalate the tension in the build-up to the September 21 election. But as it stands, all the pre-election assessment that YIGA Africa and other civil society organizations have released in the build-up to this election, has been further reinforced by, this action and what transpired today in the course of this peace accord signing ceremony.
So let's look at it. Do you fear for this election in respect of security? Do you have a fear about a possible things going south?
So we have our fears about this election. Voters have expressed their fears about this election. In our first report, we had predicted low turnout as a result of the volatile nature of this election. We've seen an exponential increase, in the activities of cult groups in the build-up to this election. We've seen attacks on political candidates. We've seen attacks on supporters. We've seen disruptions at party rallies by thugs, and by cult groups. These pre-election signs clearly demonstrate that the political actors are not preparing for elections on September 21, that they are preparing for a showdown and they are preparing for war. And this is where our security agencies, including INEC and our stakeholders, need to put the interest of the people first. If the people don't feel, the voters in Edo, if they don't feel that a safe and a secure environment will be provided on September 21, they are not going to come out to cast their vote. And when they don't show up, it means that the state, and in this state, by the state, I mean all the stakeholders, we've denied the people of Edo the opportunity to exercise their franchise. And we want to urge and call on the political actors on both sides, of the divide, to sheath their sword and put the interest of the state first by complying with the rules of the game, by also urging on the security agencies, to handle the election security for this election in an impartial, transparent, democratic, and professional manner. Because that way you will inspire confidence on the part of all the stakeholders. But as it stands, it appears there is a crisis of confidence. And also call on INEC. INEC has a critical role to also play in the way it manages the September elections. That if security is not provided for the Electoral Commission, it cannot deploy. And so if there are thoughts that are deployed by political actors to disrupt INEC operations, it would impact on the elections. Those who are managing the elections on the September 21st, and these are INEC officials, they must be individuals of impeccable character and high integrity, because previous elections, we've seen how election officials have been compromised, and there hasn't been any consequence meted on those INEC officials. And so how INEC manages this election will be critical and central. But as far as we are concerned, the stage has been set, for all forms of either post-election disputes, from the September 21 elections, or even situations where the election is going to be highly tensed and any provocation can lead to violence. And we urge that the peace accord, the peace committee, should post this event, engage in further meetings with the political actors on the need for them to lower the temperature, because the voters in Edo want to cast their votes for a party and candidate of their choice, and the Nigerian state owes them that responsibility to provide a conducive environment for them to exercise a constitutionally guaranteed right. Yeah,
let's look at these issues. When one political party, the ruling party and the governor, are crying foul about a few issues. They raised some allegations, they raised issues about the perceived partisanship of authorities or institutions responsible to conduct and provide election and provide security. Is it possible, for the sake of peace and moving forward, that some of these institutions actually, listen or do such that at the end of the day it's not looking like these institutions help to rig an election in favor of a certain political party? Is it possible? Have we seen that kind of scenario play out before?
Yeah, of course. We've seen a scenario play out before where the Nigerian police and security agencies, have managed election security in a very professional and non-partisan manner. We've seen that in governorship elections. And that's what Nigerian stakeholders and the voters in Edo want. They want a situation where security operations will be managed in a non-partisan manner, because our security agencies need to be reminded that their loyalty is to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And they do have a duty to protect our Constitution, and it's a Constitution that guarantees the rights. And their loyalty shouldn't be to either the ruling party in the state or the ruling party at the federal level. But the police and our security agencies, I believe, have what it takes, because it has happened before, where the police have been professional and they've been impartial. It has happened before and they can do that again. What I expect, against the background of these allegations that have been made, it is important to underscore 3 points, Sheon. That first, that the state should not use its apparatus and its, its powers to go after political actors irrespective of the divides that they find themselves. Because when you do that, you impugn on the confidence of the process. And if you don't create a level playing field, it begins to question the commitment of political actors, from conducting a credible elections. The second is that, if a crime has been committed, if there's an alleged crime, the police has the power and the right to arrest. It has the power to investigate. It also has the power to prosecute. In exercising that right, there are laid down procedures and laws in our law books that there are courts that have jurisdiction for handling certain matters. And when you don't, institute a prosecution in a court that has jurisdiction, it raises a lot of questions. So I want to call, on the IG and the police, to invite the stakeholders to a meeting, given the sensitivity of this particular issue, and address some of the concerns that they have raised, but to also call on, even all the other actors on the other side, that they need to sheath their swords and come to the dialogue table. And if there are concerns, let those concerns be addressed. And when they are addressed, is to go back and urge your supporters not to take to any form of violence. And the Peace Committee has a critical role to play. I think that a lot can be done between now and next week, Saturday, to boost the trust and confidence of the stakeholders. When you have this crisis of confidence, you just give voters, so much fears that their vote will not count next week.
Samson Itodo, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. Samson is the executive director of YAGA Africa, one of those groups of observer and civil society organization that will be monitoring that election. And of course, Samson is an electoral and democratic governance advocate. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight and joining us in the program.
Thank you very much.
Before we close the program, everyone, we are also monitoring what is happening in respect of the Labour Party candidate, Mr. Olumide Akpata, who today was with the governor of Abia State, Dr. Alex Otti, and Dr. Alex Otti has been speaking about what the Edo people should be doing. He's asking them that they should vote for his party's governorship candidate, Olumide Akpata, and protect their vote at the polling unit in the September 21st governorship election. He was speaking today at the Mission Market in Benin City when the Abia State governor urged eligible voters in the state to come out en masse to cast their votes for Olumide Akpata. Take a listen to both of them.
So some people we are asking after voting, will you protect our vote? Of course we will protect your vote. But you have to protect it at the polling unit and ensure that the right result is announced. I want to assure you that we are here for a serious business. And there is a template that Labour Party has. The template we're implementing in the Abia State is the template Olu will implement in
Labour Party is for Papa, Mama, Pikin. People-centered, people-focused, people-oriented, people-centric. So once you do that, if that is the test, when resources become available to you, you ask yourself firstly, what can I use this money for that will benefit the majority of the people? Once that is your motivating factor, that is, you are different, because in the last 25 years, that has not been the playbook of our politicians. The politicians take care of their own interests and the interests of their godfathers. I have no godfather. I have no strings attached.
All right, Governor Alex Otti and Olumide Akpata earlier today at the Mission Market in Benin City, where Governor Otti came to give solidarity to Olumide Akwata ahead of next week's election. And that's why where we drop it tonight and draw the curtains on today's edition of Politics Today on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimale. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing. God bless Nigeria.